Guten Morgen, bienvenue, willkommen. Don't know why I'm speaking German. We're in France, we're in Nice, the south of France, and today we have the Ducati V4 XDiavel, or XDiavel V4 from Ducati. And we're going to go up into the mountains, we're going to have a little play and see what it's like. I mean, top facts, 168 horsepower, 229 kilos without fuel, and yeah, bit of a ripper. So let's get on it. And I shall tell you more as we ride. Okay, bye. Oh, these foot pegs are weird. I mean, to be fair, I've not ridden many cruisers in my life. I can't believe this, but I was on the first XDiavel launch in San Diego, and that was 10 years ago. Can you believe it? 10 years ago. What's happened to my life? Oh, and I was actually quite impressed by that bike. And this one promises to be even more impressive. It's generally more sporty. It's obviously much more powerful. We've got the V4 from the standard Diavel, although this one has painted black engine cases. It takes a while to get your brain around what's going on with these foot pegs. You can get them with the mid. You can select when you buy the bike to put them in the mid position. And actually, if you do select the mid position, then you've got an extra 2 degrees of lean angle. So with the pegs in the front position, you've got 39 degrees, and in the mid you have 41 degrees. We've got a massive 240 rear tyre section and a comfier seat. This seat has 50% more comfort and foam than the last one. And it does actually feel quite snug on my body. Oh, she's got some poke on her. So look, we've just got to go into the town and get up into the hills. So I'm going to just leave for now, because it's just going to be a waste of time in town. Although I am quite interested to see, there is a cylinder cut on this, extended rear cylinder deactivation they call it. So when it gets hot and you're not using a lot of fuel or power, it cuts the rear bank of cylinders, which might be nice and useful later. So let's get on it, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, thanks guys. Bye. Look at these beautiful pink umbrellas in the sky. England just doesn't really do stuff like that. I mean, I know it helps with the palm trees and stuff, but it's just nice. It's nice to have a bit of pride in your town, isn't it? Speaking of town, actually riding this, it's fine in town. The suspension is quite firm, but I think we'll be glad of that once we get out onto the twisties. But the rear cylinder cut is pretty useful. It's a little bit, it does sometimes feel a little bit like the old agricultural Ducatis when you're down on 2, but if you just give it some gas, it just goes straight back onto 4. I feel a bit like I'm doing my motorcycle test. I think some people actually should do their motorcycle test. Thanks mate, cheers buddy, gracias. Welcome to la montagne. Il fait froid dans la montagne. Mais c'est le magnifique. It's alright this. You don't, I mean it's a bit damp here, but you don't think it should, it doesn't feel like it should be able to do the things that it can do. A lot of the reports on the V4 Diavel, not the XDiavel, were kind of similar, like wow, this handles really super well considering what it is. Now the front of this bike is raked out a little bit more. The whole bike is longer. I think it's like 2.5 centimeters longer, so turning in feels a little bit like, oh, what's happening here? But because you haven't got that much lean angle available, 39 degrees in this case with these foot pegs, it's all right. I don't think you're going to get yourself in too much trouble leaning on the front. A complimentary suite of high-tech electronics comes with this bike as standard. You've got cornering ABS, wheelie control, launch control, cornering traction control, which is probably like a slide control type job. I believe it's a 20-litre tank, which I think you're going to need because it is bloody fast. And therefore it probably uses quite a lot of the sweet, sweet nectar. Riding position is pretty comfy. The seat is very comfortable. You can get a race exhaust with this bike, which adds 11 horsepower and subtracts 11 kilos of weight. Although it does look a bit odd. I think it's designed for the Diavel, not the XDiavel, so I'll show you a picture in a minute. Well, I'll probably show you it now actually. It doesn't look quite like it fits that well, and it's 5,000 quid. So far it's pretty decent. I mean, honestly, it's not my go-to cup of tea bike that I'd be like, oh my god, I really want one of those. But you know, if you're into the cruisers, but you want performance, you want a sport cruiser, then this is definitely on the list. Chopsy's loving it, look. Although it is £26,000, and if you want the black, what's it called, magma lava black lava, or burning red. Black lava is £300 more than burning red. And this is the only bike that you cannot buy, the only Ducati that you cannot buy in Rosso red. Isn't that interesting? I quite like the deep metallic paint. When the sun hits it, it's rather delicious. I mean, who this bike is aimed at, I guess all these European manufacturers try to conquer America, and it's definitely pointed at Harley Davidson. And I can see some Harley riders going, do you know what, actually I fancy a bit of Italian flair. The build quality is excellent. Everything feels very well put together, apart from these plastic, I don't like these rubber buttons that they put on the new Ducatis, the keyless start ones. They feel very, I don't know, sort of Amazon, AliExpress. But everything other than that feels great. We've got illuminated switch gear, and quality wise it's bob on. This screen is very nice to look at. They've upped their game with this. This is the same as the Panigale screen, obviously different layout, and I'm sure you can faff and fiddle and get your preferred section, preferred design. You can get a fly screen, although I've not really missed it so far. But if you want to do touring, you can get a mid and a tall screen. They're still not that tall, it's still about that high. Acceleration is quite astonishing because it's so long, it doesn't wheelie, so, and it's got such a fat tyre, it just really does launch you. And it's quite a nice, it's a nice feeling, got to say. The only thing I struggle with a little bit is when you're in town, or when you're going on off from fully closed to fully open throttle. I don't know whether that was because it was on the 2-cylinder cut thing, but it does feel a little bit, not jerky, but it could be refined. But other than that, loving life.
Who wants to win a camper? Of course you do. Our friends at Apex 66 have just launched another sexy VW T6.1, so don't be a silly Billy and grab your tickets today. And you could be like Annie, who won the last one. There's a link in the description.
Well, all I can say at this point is thank God I brought my winter gloves in my bag, because it's absolutely freezing. It's like 9 degrees. Ah! I mean, you'd have thought for 26 grand it could come with heated grips. I'm just trying to navigate. I was trying to turn wheelie control off, and I don't think you can when you're rolling. One of those things that's like, oh no, you can't go into the settings when you're rolling. I don't think, which is a bit annoying, because I don't want to have to stop and do all that. I don't like it when technology starts then going, oh no, actually now you're going to have to stop to do this. I find that a little bit frustrating. It's probably some EU crappery, but it's a bit annoying. But the seat is exceptionally comfortable. I mean, my bum is warm, comfy. It's really good, really good. It's the warmest part of my body. Maybe because it's sat on top of 2 cylinder heads. But and the riding position is generally pretty comfy. I've got some sort of racy ankle boots on, and I will say that when you change gear on a hot California highway, it's going to be totally different. But when you change gear, you tend to get a lot of, or even just in this position, you get a lot of air up your trousers, which may be a good thing if you're really hot. But I'm not hot. Beautiful view though. Okay, let's do it. Let's go into sport mode. Oh shit me. I mean, it's pretty quick. Whoa. So 229 kilos. Doesn't actually feel that heavy. Bit of rear brake round here. Glorious V4. Fully adjustable suspension on this bike. There's no S in this model. It's not going to be an S in this model, so they said anyway. So this is what you're going to get, so don't hold out for the S. Puddle. Corner. Brakes are nice, thank God. Caught my foot on the floor there. Doesn't feel like it's got that much sort of top end. It almost sort of, the power, oh f me ABS. The power almost sort of tails off when you get right up to the top of the rev range, like an electronics thing. But it feels like you don't really need it. There's Joe. Oh. The suspension, although firm in town, this is nice and supportive, quite solid feeling. Way. I mean, it's not a wheelie machine because it's so long. That's what she said. I mean, a sport cruiser, a cruiser shouldn't really be able to do this. The sport is definitely very relevant in this case. Well, it's a good job the brakes are good. Definitely nice to trail a bit of rear brake on this bike. Actually, the forward mounted position of the pegs is quite nice to put the rear brake on. Throttle is still, I wouldn't say snatchy, but it's definitely sporty. Right, let's go for a little burn with Joe and Chad. Yeah, the rev limiter, there's like a, it's like a, doesn't actually sort of go bang 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 off the limit. Old peg scraper Achilles.
Oh mate, yeah, they do scrape, don't they?
Yeah, well, I keep catching my heels on the floor, then your foot comes off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was wicked. Okay, lunch stop complete. Had some sort of meat. Don't know what it was, but I think it used to bleat. Everyone's put rain gear on. I don't know if we're actually going to get wet, but let's see. It is quite weird having the foot pegs up the front. I think it would be... I'm not enjoying it, but I think it would be much better if the foot pegs were in the middle.
The Italians know there must be rain coming.
I know. This guy. Every day. Oh, I want to be P1. Come on then. And we're off. Oh, it does look a bit rainy. So yeah, what's the thoughts then? Surprisingly sporty, more sporty than I thought it would be. Lean angle is always going to be an issue on something like this, so you can't really downvote it for that, because that's what it is. It's a cruiser. I'd like a bit more. It is exciting, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel like a sort of fire-breathing Ducati, and it feels almost a bit too easy. It's a very, it does handle really well. It's not a traditional cruiser. I think it's just a curse of all modern bikes, really, is that they just come out of a factory now with so many aids, so much motor sort of restriction, and the noise. A lot of it's the noise, I think. If you could put that £5 exhaust system on it, I think it would add a huge amount to the experience, which, if you're, let's face it, targeting sporty Harley Davidson riders, Harleys make a lot of noise. And again, you can't criticise Ducati for that. You have to criticise the European Union, which I like doing. I think one of the best things is just how comfortable it is to ride. Oh, look at this, lovely. Ooh. The seat is so comfy, honestly. You could sit on this all day long. It's way more comfortable than my GS that I rode down here on. Oh, raindrop, brilliant. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've got no real complaints about the suspension either. I think it's perfectly adequate. Although if you are at a higher lean angle around a corner, it doesn't take much of a compression to bottom the bike out. And another good thing is the valve clearance service interval on this is 60,000 kilometers, which for a Ducati is wild. But it is 26 grand. I mean, there's no getting around that obstacle. But then Harleys are expensive as well, aren't they? So I suppose that's what they're trying to do, is take that market, or at least take a share of it. Why do glacial streams always look blue? Can anyone answer that? But yeah, as a bike to have a Sunday ride, cruise up into the mountains, it's brilliant. It is really good fun, and it's comfortable and easy. Whether it's got that excitement level, I'm not quite sure. I mean, laying the power down, it is very exciting, but and it does sound good. It's not bad. It's just whether it's super exciting. I get wet here. Bollocks. I'm gonna go into touring mode. I don't want to get wet, mummy. Decent. Ooh. Lads. Right, well, it's raining now, so I'm going to camera off. See you shortly, or maybe back at the hotel. Bye.
Unfortunately, the rain was unrelenting, and the swanky jacket and jean combo turned to bin bag chic and multiple soggy bottoms. However, it was dry enough for us to learn what we needed about this beefy whopper of a bike, and the rain also revealed some interesting nuggets. Firstly, even if you're not a cruiser guy, this is certainly a handsome bike, and there's no arguing that. Plus, it has the performance to back up the pretty face. The XDiavel V4 sits in a niche category of its own, with its nearest rival being its muscular brother, the V4 Diavel. The X version is prettier to look at and exudes a more of a LA bike shed vibe, but whether it entices Harley riders over to the EU is yet to be seen. Here are my top 2 pros and cons for the V4 XDiavel. On the con side, the fueling could be more refined. In town, and especially in the rain when trying not to upset the bike, the initial throttle application, and closing more so, was abrupt and cheapened the experience a little. The quick shifter could be smoother on both up and down shifts, and I often resorted to using the manual clutch for a smoother ride. Again, this may be partly to do with the fueling and the cylinder head cut, but it could be improved. On the pro side, we of course have that glorious V4 motor, which drags you up the road kicking and screaming. Launching this bike off the line and out of corners is highly addictive, and it's the highlight of the machine. Then we surprisingly have comfort. Ducati have increased the suspension travel over the previous model, upped the amount of foam on the seat, and the versatile peg position means you can find your sweet spot and ride this bad boy all day long and more. Right, that's it from Nice. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Au revoir.